Pollock this morning. Bob Pollock, of course, brought to you from the Extension Service by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Wonderful. So what's this I hear about Dairy Day coming up? Brought to you by the Extension.
Yeah, that's true. Every year. They've had that for a long time.
I know. It's just my way of giving the opportunity to talk about it.
I know.
So Dairy Day's coming up.
And
people can go.
Yes.
And learn about cows.
That's right. Or learn more about them.
It's in the beginning of March. Don't make me fill all the information in. You
March
fill the
5th.
information in.
Well, I'm not in charge of that, so I'm not up on all the details of that.
But it's March 5th.
Yeah.
And
it'll be in
Blairsville?
Chestnut Ridge. Yep.
Okay.
That's where it'll be.
People want to learn more about it. Who should they contact? Someone at the Extension or someone somewhere else?
They can call the office.
Okay. 465-3880.
That's correct.
Very good. He doesn't want to talk about that, I can tell. He and cows are not friendly anymore.
No, we're still friendly. It's just that that's not my
Your
area of responsibility. And so I know it's happening, but I don't know all the details.
Not your bailiwick. All right, so one of the interesting things we saw recently was that this winter has actually had more snow in it to this point than last winter had. That doesn't make sense, does it? Because it doesn't seem like it snowed yet this year.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. But that's the measurement for this winter, that we've had more. And with this week when we've had all this sunshine, and we thank the Lord for that.
Yep.
But it gets you wondering about precipitation tables, about ground being frozen, about things getting off schedule because of the way the weather is reacting this winter. Nature has a way of correcting itself, though, doesn't it?
It does. Not always for the better, but it does make corrections on its own. I mean, there's bulbs that have started to come up in places, and so
it's playing with a keychain there for some reason. I had no idea.
Didn't realize how much noise that was making, did you?
Yeah.
So the soil's been warm enough that there's been activity in the soil. You know, we've had obviously enough cold weather that those bulbs and things are starting to respond and warmed up, and so they're starting to grow a little bit. Yeah. Hopefully they won't grow too much. We don't need to, although most of those bulbs are pretty hardy. They'll withstand these colder temperatures without any trouble and keep on going. But
we've only got another month left in February.
True.
March comes and another
week left.
A whole new season opens up for us. And we begin to think about getting outside. We think about things that are growing, and who knows, by the end of March, there might be people mowing grass.
Never know. We're going to find out, aren't we? There might be 3 feet of snow on the ground, too.
Yep.
We've had late March snows, significant ones at times. So,
but the days will be lengthening, and so there will be more daylight to work with.
Yes. Already noticeable, which is good.
Yeah.
Helps put you in a little better disposition.
All right,
when it's not so dark out.
One of the things that I notice is my backyard is riddled with mole tunnels. And so the question isn't going to be about how do I get rid of moles, because moles are going to be there if they want to be there, basically.
True.
Until they find some reason not to be there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Until they exhaust their food source or there's not enough of it, and then they'll migrate someplace else.
So they find some reason not to be there, they're going to be there. The question becomes, with the ground now soft and with all of these tunnels out there, what's the best approach? Is rolling the lawn a recommendation once the weather gets a little bit more firm out there? Is it rolling it, or just running the mower over it, or staying off of it? What are the things that someone that has that problem should do?
Yeah, so right now, it's best just to
stay away.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there was a little snow cover on there so you didn't have to look at it, and then you wouldn't think about it. And that's not the case. But it's best now, we're still in winter, best just to let it alone. Because there still could be more damage occur.
Yeah.
And then we also will probably have some freezing and thawing cycles that'll continue to happen, and that can help level some of that out on its own.
Okay.
Just from the moisture being in the ground, and then when it freezes, it honeycombs and breaks up and expands, and then when it warms up, then that'll cool down and settle. So it'll help move that around, flatten it out a little bit on its own. And then wait till we get into really late. Oftentimes we'll get a dry spell in March at some point, where it's dry enough that you can actually do a little bit. The top of the soil dries out enough that you can actually do some movement of soil without damaging it. It's dry enough to do that. And often a lot of times we'll see fields might be plowed in March.
Yeah, is the grass beginning to green up at that point, or
it can be a little bit? Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's another signal you can use is when that starts to happen. Then we know the soil temperatures are warming up enough that those plants are starting to grow. They're coming out of that dormancy period, and they're starting to green up a little bit, starting to have some root activity. And so that's another sign that things are happening and spring is coming.
Okay.
And we're getting into a window of time when we can start to work on those things.
Okay. So the work that we do on them will entail what?
Well, and usually it just, depending on the situation and how much extra soil's there and things, it might just be regrading it with a rake, just to level it back out again. Okay. And then if it's in the yard, then we'll need to most likely reseed those areas.
Okay.
And it might just be spots. And if you have those mold tunnels that are pushed up, then you might have to, especially if the grass is still there, you can lightly roll that.
Okay.
Just to help smooth that out a bit. Because it's hard to, you can't really rake that very easily when the sod's still there and pushed up.
Yeah.
It's not going to work well. You're just going to rip it all up.
Yeah, that's true.
So if the grass is still alive, which it probably will be, then you can just push that down lightly. We don't want to use a heavy roller. We used to have those people would take barrels and these huge big rollers and they'd fill them full of 30-gallon drum and fill it full of water full. We don't need that much weight in most cases.
Okay.
Now we can end up causing damage by compressing the soil too much, compacting it. So just enough to roll that out, firm it up.
Let's see if we can take a call real quick. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. I need to know, I hate crabgrass. For the last few years, my yard is really crazy. And I'd like to know what is the best time to put whatever on it to kill this crabgrass.
Okay, which is going to be later in the season. The crabgrass gets really strong.
Right. So crabgrass is a warm season grass. So our cool season grasses are going to start to grow in the spring much sooner than the crabgrass will. Usually, one of the plants we use as an indicator is when the forsythia is about done blooming. You can put the preventative crabgrass control weed killer on. Okay. So if you have forsythia around, usually that gets into mid-April to late April. We don't want to go out there and put that on now, because that material will only work for so long. So it has a life. So within a few months, most of those materials will break down or move out of the area where those crabgrass seeds are germinating. So we can, if we'd put it on now, we're not going to get as good of control out of that as if we would if we'd wait till kind of mid-April to apply that.
So 6-8 weeks more.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Okay.
Because oftentimes we don't see a flush of crabgrass until we get into June.
Okay.
What's the best chemical to put on it?
Yeah, there's only 2 or 3 active ingredients, and a lot of the different brand names will utilize the same active ingredient. So if you just get one of the brand names that you like and it's worked well for you, and it'll have preventative. Oftentimes, so you can get it 2 ways. You can get it just as a crabgrass preventer, or you can get it in combination with the fertilizer. The two will come together in one bag.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can kind of pick. If you want to put fertilizer on at that time, then you can use the combination. That's the usually the best way to go. And then if you don't need any fertilizer, then just use the crabgrass preventer. Yep.
Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160, 101.1 FM, Fox News coming up. 30 seconds left. Anything we should be doing in this coming week looking outside?
Oh, it's always good to do a walk around. Mm-hmm. Do you have any rodent damage, any rabbit damage? Were there plants that you didn't protect that you may need to go back in now and and do that as we move into late winter. Picking up branches, things like that.
Right. Just do a general cleanup.
Yep.
Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's WCCS.